Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni. Oh, there we go. Lots of buttons. Welcome in. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Lots of food.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much food. I don't need to eat for 10 days.
Oh, you're good. All right.
Yeah.
We can pack on the hibernation pounds because it's snowing out.
It's a good way to look at it. Hibernation pounds. I like that. I'm going to say that from now on.
Sounds good.
But if you're still, kind of in the food coma or just kind of recovering from the long weekend, then join us for Studio 10. We'll give you, we'll rejuvenate you.
Oh, there you go.
And we have a really fun show. Speaking of which, it is Cyber Monday, and if you're home taking, advantage of some of those deals, we're going to remind you of the safety protocols to take because even the most experienced shoppers, online shoppers, get scammed. I know a few who have.
Oh, jeez.
So, you want to make sure that you're, being as safe as you possibly can. And even like stuff as simple as just like using your credit card is just like such a safe a safe thing to do as opposed to like your debit card. So, just making sure that you're doing everything you can to be safe because if you're shopping and the sales are out there, those scammers, they know they're out there too. So
they do. Yeah, I know. They'll be like, look at this deal, and then you'll want to click on it. Be careful what you click on.
Yeah, because some of the deals are really sneaky with the scams. So just be careful, but then we're also going to tell you how you can have fun with your deals.
Well, there you go.
And then to get into the spirit of things, we're going to talk with Bettini Spirits about their cocktails and, how you can dress up your cocktail and stuff.
Like that.
Especially because this is the time of year where we're hosting more people.
Yeah.
And you can do things that are not very hard that look very impressive.
All right, well, that's good.
Yeah, you'll impress any guest because I'm really bad at being a host, and these tips I'm hopeful will help me. If I can do it, you can do it.
We need a review from you then.
No, you don't. You don't want that. But I think anyone can make host and make it look pretty, and this will help. We also have Teacher of the Week, and this Teacher of the Week deserves to be mentioned, so I did want to point that out. I can't say who it is yet, but we will be announcing that.
3 o'clock.
And then we're going to talk with the Wharton Center about hairspray, because that is this week. I'm so excited.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Lansing. Should we rewrite the song?
Oh, yeah, we should rewrite the song. Good morning, Lansing.
Yes, but you don't really want to hear us sing that.
No, you don't. That was, no, we won't keep singing. That is such a great movie, and watching it at the Wharton is going to be fantastic.
I'm so excited, too. And Hairspray has a couple more songs, I think, in the musical, too, which is just...
Wait, really?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
I think it has,
You're telling me I'm missing out on a few songs?
Yeah, I think it has, one or two extra songs. I believe it does. But you don't want to hear it from us, trust me. You want to hear it from the people performing at Wharton Center. So, and they'll be talking all about it on Zoom, which is super exciting. And then we're also going to be talking about Elsa's Chicken and Waffles. We're going to be talking with Oddfellows. So we have a full show today. It's really fun. And
a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll have weather too, which is really important today because it's a snowing. So
it's a snowing.
It's a snowing.
It is. I know. Is it snowing out here? Oh, there's some flakes going around. Yeah. Justin's nodding his head yes. I know. He's ready to talk about the snow. Wow.
Yeah. And well, speaking of, we'll see you at 3 p.m. But I'm really excited for our show today. But we'll see you. And now I think it's time for you to hear some about that snow. So.
Yes. Well, thank you, Claudia. You can catch Studio 10 coming up at 3 o'clock today. That is in just over 50 minutes here. And of course, here's all their social media handles that you can follow. You can, look up if you want to go back, rewatch anything, if you want to send a link to anyone, or if you just want to get any good ideas for the holidays. Of course, Studio 10 has all the different fun ways that you can be decorative and go out to the local restaurants, whatever is in the area that, fits the holidays. Make sure to check that out. But we have Justin Bradford standing here because, Justin, I'm taking a look at a few of our sky cams. I'm taking a look outside, and that snow is still coming down.
Yeah, it's falling all across the state. And, a little bit dicey in spots this morning where we had a little bit of that ice taking shape on roads. Yesterday we didn't have to deal with as much because it was above freezing most of the day and even into the evening, which was good. That meant that roads were at least just wet yesterday. But the snow's been blanketing the area, and this is, of course, just the first of many events like that I expect we'll see as we get deeper into the late fall here, because winter starts after Thanksgiving here in mid-Michigan. We know that to be true, and it's proven again this year.
Well, I was going to say, I'm taking a look to my left here, and we have a coworker who just set up all these Christmas lights. They're beautiful. They're fun.
They look good, yeah, and it's nice to have. We've now got them in the studio with the poinsettias as well, and so very exciting there. The holiday season's always fun to get into. No matter what holidays you like to celebrate, everybody seems to have one during the winter season, and it's a really great time of year to deck the halls, so to speak, for lack of better words.
And I was going to say, I know that I decorated. You were telling me during News 10 today at 11, you decorated already. So that's like the fun part of the holidays.
no
but
kidding.
This morning, did you have to scrape off your car? Oh, no,
Fortunately, no.
You have a
I
garage.
got
Never
a
mind.
garage now. Yeah, big new homeowner over here. Very exciting, right? Yeah, so that's been nice to have that. But certainly, the folks want to have the brushes, the scrapers ready, because even if you've left your vehicle out throughout the day, maybe you'll end up finding yourself giving it a little quick scrape. Hopefully nothing too bad. Most of the flakes seem to be melting on windshields today, but if you haven't been out to your vehicle and it is outside, you might need to make sure that you take care of that.
All right, well, let's take a look outside because it is going right now. Wow.
Yeah, there's some flakes flying out there. We're getting into some of the kind of heavier snow bands that are coming through the area today. Now, we're not tacking on too much more as the day goes on, which is good, but we'll talk about snowfall totals in just a moment. We've got an hour-by-hour look at that coming up. Temperatures, you've noticed, have been falling throughout the day. We're at 25 right now, and these numbers were in the upper 20s earlier today. We've also got a west wind, 15 miles per hour. Check out that wind chill, just 13 right now, and I can tell you, it feels like that. I walked to next door Target just briefly not too long ago, and boy, was it chilly, even just walking right down the road. And so that's something you want to be mindful of and bundled up for. Satellite and radar shows that, again, this is not a system shower event. It's all forming right along the shoreline out to our west. We have woken up the lakes officially, and that's what happens when you get this cold air to flow over the relatively warm waters. Of course, if you tried to go swimming in Lake Michigan, it wouldn't be so fun. It's still very, very cold, don't get me wrong, but anytime you've got that big temperature difference as the cold air flows over the lake, it's able to kick up the lake effect machine, as we like to call it, once again. And you notice that's true coming off Lakes Michigan, Superior to the north, Huron off to the northeast, and then even Lakes Erie and Ontario now getting in on some of the lake effect. Particularly look just south of Buffalo there. That's a common snow belt where they tend to see a lot of it stack up, and they're seeing some very heavy bands just south of Buffalo right now. I expect the city probably doesn't have much, but it's possible they could be climbing over a foot in areas just south. And so we're not talking that much snow here around the Great Lakes, but it is going to be one of those things we get into, of course, here, especially in November and December. The lakes tend to be pretty hungry, and they will go after it there. So the numbers out there right now, 25 in Lansing, Jackson's 26, Mason, Charlotte are at 27. Those numbers are all colder than normal, but then you factor in this wind, which has been generally between 10 and 15, but at times has gone up around 20. And when that does happen, you catch those stray gusts. You see it hop to 18 right there before our eyes. Look at the current wind chill. Lansing's at 11, and apparently it's too cold in St. John's for them to even want to post a number. Seems we got a problem with the sensor there. But Jackson's at 15, and the warmest of the bunch is Marshall, feeling like 18 degrees. And so that's pretty cold out there at 2 in the afternoon. But that's what we're dealing with today, and it'll probably be kind of similar in a lot of ways tomorrow. The only difference is less snow. So the hour by hour, you notice here, looks a lot different than what you just saw on satellite and radar. This is something we talk about a little bit, getting into kind of the science behind radar and weather. But because the weather radar is a beam that gets shot out, and it tries to take readings of all these sorts of different profiles in the atmosphere. Well, the models really tend to, even though the radar is able to pick them up with the beam, the models tend to really struggle with very low-level precipitation like lake effect snow. It's not getting up like towering thunderstorm clouds or big systems that move into the area. Even small systems at least have some cloud tops that are a bit higher you can get a good read on. Our hour-by-hour models don't all do a great job of that most of the time, and so it's more difficult for them to pick up on lake effect bands. And so you notice here, while some still form and come through from time to time, if you look at radar, you will notice that it is more filled in. than it shows right here. The other difference is when you have lake effect in very cold air, it's often very dry air that's coming over the warm and humid, or moist, if you will, the Great Lakes. When that happens, you get the interactions to form lake effect snow. And we've got a whole process to explain that, which maybe we'll touch on a little bit tomorrow when we've got a little bit more time aside from the regular forecast. It's a fun graphic to be an explainer, and it's one that we created last year for it, and so it could be another one for us to bust out.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
we'll touch on that soon.
Yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. But again, you see a few of the lake effect bands coming in, so the accumulation's mainly going to be confined to areas north and west in the state. You can see these at 11 p.m. tonight. And then watch where the temperatures go overnight. We do have that fresh snowpack outside, and we're going to get into a little late clearing. We got a few folks going as low here as 17, 16 degrees in Howell by tomorrow morning. I think it's possible a few locations get a little colder than these numbers, and the reason for that is that if we clear the skies out and we have pretty calm conditions, that fresh snowpack, it's like if you go outside and you turn a fan on, or if you go outside and maybe you've got a cooler nearby, right, on a hot summer day, and you just put your face right above that cooler, it feels really nice.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, the snow kind of has a similar reaction to that. And so
wow.
if the snow's outside and it's on the ground, it's coating it, it's going to be probably colder in those locations than the areas where the snow is not. And so anybody who has a little bit more in the way of snowpack, and this is true all winter or anytime we have snow, is it tends to be a little colder at night when we clear things out. And so the models have us going down into the upper teens. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe someone get down to like 12 or 13 tonight just because we've got that fresh snow. But either way, it's going to be a continued cold pattern tomorrow, even if we manage to stay dry, which I think we do now aside from maybe a flake or two. Certainly not going to see any accumulation or widespread flurries. We're only in the mid to upper 20s at best on Tuesday, much like today, and it's going to be another one where the wind blows a little bit, and it's going to feel like the teens pretty much the entire day. And so we've got another 24 to 36 hours of this brutal cold, and I say brutal cold relative to the time of year, right? We'll have plenty of days colder than this in the upcoming winter, but when you get them in November, it's still not very fun to have to deal with. You will notice, though, as we go out into our Tuesday, temperatures once again start off kind of cool, but we have a system passing that'll stay to our north, and what happens south of that is we get back up at least into the 30s, even if the clouds hang on Wednesday, and so that's good news for us moving forward. Now, as far as predicted snowfall, which we'll touch on very quickly here, I'm not expecting much more in the way of snow. You see here only trace amounts in most mid-Michigan locations. You notice some of those darker blue colors off towards the lakeshore. Well, that's where all the snow bands are coming in. And occasionally they'll come over to us like they are in some spots right now, as you're seeing on satellite and radar, but we're not expecting much more to build or stick. I think maybe a half inch at best in spots moving through the rest of this evening and into tomorrow, so that's good news there. Now, a quick look at the 10-day forecast is, again, Tuesday morning, maybe going to keep around just a very quick few flakes in the morning, but aside from that, we'll be dry. Still cold day, a couple of mornings to start in the teens here moving forward. By Wednesday, we're back in the upper 30s. Thursday, we go mid-40s, so that's a nice improvement. And then Friday, the first day of December, we're still close to 40 degrees, and we'll start with a mix of rain and snow in the morning. I think it's all rain by Friday afternoon. And then the weekend, still in the 40s for the first one of December. We ride out most of the rest of this 10-day like that. And in fact, the long-range outlook is going to bring us into above normal temperatures for probably most of the first 10 days of December. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be warm, as we always talk about. It's all relative to the time of year, right? And so average highs are going to be in the 30s by the time we get to December. And so us being in the 40s, by definition, puts us above that. And so even if it's not warm for most people's taste, being above normal is certainly good to have this time of year, because we know we're going to have a lot of cold days to deal with. And so balancing them with some that are, we can call them mild for the time of year, being in the mid-40s is pretty nice to have.
Well, like you said, was it this Thursday or Friday? Is December 1st? Which one?
Friday. December 1st. Yeah,
oh, boy.
That's coming up. It's amazing that we're already there. And so hopefully we can get sent off. A nice little swan song for us would be 45 Thursday to end November.
It's not bad.
That'd be pleasant. I mean, by standards for this time of year, that's pretty good. Normal daytime high, I think, is 41, 42 right now. So for us to be 45 potentially to end the month and dry, hopefully that 20% on there is for later in the evening. So if we can go most of Thursday without any weather, any precipitation at least, that'd be good.
All right. Wow. There is a great tool. Actually, two great tools. Mm-hmm. Which one should I bring up first, Justin?
Which one? Why don't you go with the one that's coming up tomorrow night? We can
All right, here we go.
That one first, because that's a big one.
This is.
It's one that we've been working on for a while here, and we're very proud to present the First Alert Winter Survival Guide. This is going to air tomorrow night. It'll air a few more times at future dates, which we'll let you know about later. But tomorrow night, 7 p.m., it's going to basically compile everything that we need to get through a mid-Michigan winter. We know they can be brutal, and sometimes they can be mild and not too bad.
Yeah.
But no matter what they are, myself, Chief Meteorologist Darren Rockcole, and First Alert Meteorologists Andy Provenzano and Colton Sikoracki all worked very hard on this special. Talked to several experts and community members all around mid-Michigan to get you, your family, your friends, everybody prepared for your enemies, I guess. Anyone who's willing to watch it for the winter weather season. We want everybody, of course, to be safe, to kind of know what's going on. And different communities may handle snowfall events and winter storms in different ways.
Yeah.
And so we want you to be aware, no matter where you live, about what all of those things may be and other ways that you can just do simple things that you may already know, but it's always good for us to have a nice refresher on them. And First Alert Winter Weather Survival Guide will help you do that. And once again, that's going to be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, our Tuesday, November 28th. Should be a really nice program. We're very proud of what we put together, and we hope that you'll enjoy it and to see you then.
Yeah, well, I will say the snow that we got yesterday and even the snow today are kind of, it's a good way to gauge how the rest of the winter will go. It's not like it's going to go exactly how the past 2 days have been, but at least people can get back out on the roads, be like, oh,
For sure.
you know, some people forget how to drive in the snow.
Of course, yeah, it tends to happen. And you know what, people, this is the time of year when you want to check, make sure your vehicle's ready. You want to check and make sure lots of things are. We discuss a lot of that in the special. In fact, my vehicle at this moment right now is actually right across the street in the shop getting some, getting some new tires so that I can be ready for winter. And so that's because I noticed mine are looking a little bare. So I said I at least probably need to get the front tires redone, feel safer on the roads.
Yeah.
And so got that going on right now. And so, I mean, it's just another one of those things that you can do. And again, we discuss a lot more about that in our First Alert Winter Survival Guide.
Right, one more time, here you go. Like Justin said, whether it's your tire treads or tire pressure or anything else with your car that needs some upkeep on, especially before heading into the winter season. Justin, when you brought your car into the shop, was there a long line for other people waiting to get their cars done, or was it clear?
It seemed like it was pretty busy. You know, another thing is a lot of places are still doing those either Black Friday or Cyber Monday sales. And so that's one of the things that I figured I could take advantage of. I mean, you know, if we're here and there's deals to be had, you might as well. And some of those extend a little further out as well. So if you make appointments, whether it's online, in person, whatever you have to do, it's a really good time, especially once again, you said after gauging some of the areas this morning, pretty slippery out there. We had some slick roads. And so I noticed it even coming in this morning. That was on my to-do list for this week. And then I was driving to work this morning, and I had nothing too bad, but I had a few spots where I just didn't have as much braking as I thought that I could have had, even just like coming out of my neighborhood. And I had just a little extra slide, and I went, you know what, I probably, if I got the chance today, should get the tires done. And sure enough, had an opportunity in a window, and so I took advantage of it.
Well, that was a smart idea.
Yeah,
there you go.
Might as well.
We want you here safe and alive and well.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, absolutely. And yeah, no big issue this morning. I was fine. I was safe. I was in my neighborhood when the vehicle slid, but I actually was testing it out, which is something we kind of touch on in the special too. I talked to Jason Redowdy from Mr. R's driving school over in Hazlitt, and he's someone who, of over 20 years of running that business, and maybe folks watching us, maybe you've had yourself or even your kids have gone through the programs that he has there, really kind of get the way to know around the road, especially this time of year, because as he kind of touches on, there are some kids who maybe start driving in like March, right, or something. They go through all of driver's ed, they do both segments, and they get their license maybe last week, and they have never driven in snow. And now they have to. And so and now they have to, and they have to learn how to do that. Even if they learned all the rules of the road, it's different here when you get into the winter season. And so that's something that, of course, everyone wants to be prepared for, and it's one of many things that we touch on in that First Alert Winter Weather Survival Guide.
Well, Justin, whether people are gauging the changing weather conditions that we'll get heading into the winter season, or they want to keep an eye on those slick conditions on the roads, there's another great tool for that.
Yeah, that one is, of course, the WILX First Alert Weather app. Now, that's a absolutely wonderful tool to have in the palm of your hands when you're talking about all types of weather across mid-Michigan. It's one that, again, we are very proud of, and it's got everything you need to know when it comes to the winter weather season with the interactive radar, weather alerts, forecasts that you need to know when you're heading out the door. We've got you covered. Those video updates come in frequently throughout the day, and once again, it's absolutely great to have in the palm of your hand. All you got to do is search WILX Weather. It's absolutely free in both Google Play and on the App Store. Wonderful tool to have.
And I do want to make note, is this a new graphic we have?
It appears that it is. I know nothing about it, to be honest with you. I just make the forecast. We've got people more creative than me who create the content that we share on here to promote what we're doing. I just go create the graphics that we want to show folks to explain what's going on with the weather. That looks great, whoever did that one. So,
looks good.
Thank you very much.
It's got the snowflakes too.
Yeah, it looks really good. Team effort here at Newscasts.
Woo!
We're always all about
there
it.
There we go.
So it's good. It's good stuff.
Awesome. Well, we do have more of our team members out in the field.
Yeah.
They're dealing with the weather, but Justin will continue telling you what to expect with the weather. So we're going to pull up what to expect coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news today. If it'll pull up, there we go. Thank you, Justin. We'll see you during Studio 10.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can also see Justin coming up during First at 4, of course. But you can always go to WILX.com if you want to see Justin's updated stuff. He does radio. All of our meteorologists do that. So whether it's online, on air, they have got you covered. But coming up today during Mid-Michigan Matters, as we are back from the Thanksgiving holiday, spending that time with family and loved ones, friends, this month for November is Child Grief Awareness Month. So 1 in 11 children in Michigan experience the death of a parent or a sibling by the time that they're age 18. So during Mid-Michigan Matters today, we bring in an expert to talk about the different ways that children cope with grief and how you, as a loved one, whether it's a parent, sibling, relative, a guardian, anything of the sort, a friend, you know how to help guide a child through that challenging time. And then coming up, News 10 at 5, Tim Stout has more on MSU football's new head coach, Jonathan Smith, and what he hopes to bring to the field. He is coming back from Oregon State, or he's from Oregon State, but now he is at Michigan State. And then at 5:30, Amaya Kuznicki previews Red Cross Giving Day. And we also want to remind you that tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. So we'll hear more on what the Red Cross is looking for during Red Cross Giving Day. Coming up, News 10 at 6, the 2024 NFL Draft is now 150 days away. We were in Detroit as officials gave updates on the planning for Detroit hosting the draft next year, including safety, economic impact, and how youth programs, including girls flag football, will benefit from the draft. Again, that is 150 days away from today for the 2024 NFL Draft that will be held in Detroit next year. Very exciting stuff. And then don't forget that here at News 10, something happened to the screen. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if that happened on all of your end, on my end over here. But here at News 10, we are partnering with the Salvation Army. We are also partnering, I just lost my little spot here. 1 second. But we already did our little drive, Boots on the Playground for Footprints of Michigan, and now we are doing our Toys for Tots Toys Drive. Had to separate those two. There's a lot of information. My apologies. But here every year at WILX, we partner with the local Marine Corps Reserves and the Salvation Army for the Toys for Tots Toy Drive. So you see that QR code on your screen. And it'll loop around, so it might go off your screen for a second, but don't worry, it will pop back up. So that QR code is for our Amazon Toys wish list. So if you go scan that QR code, which will pop back up on your screen in just about 10-15 seconds here, you'll be able to see the Amazon Toys for Tot wish list. You're able to have those toys, new unwrapped toys, delivered to our WILX studios, or they can be donated or dropped off at multiple other locations that we are partnering with. So feel free to scan that QR code for more information. But now through December 8th, so you have a couple weeks here, you can drop off those new unwrapped toys at the following locations during business hours. And then stay with News 10 as we highlight the amazing stories behind Toys for Tots, the selfless volunteers, and the effects that this program has on our community. And also don't forget, I know that a lot of toys, you focus on the young children, but don't forget about the older children as well. So the teens, the tweens, I know they're into their video games, a lot of screen time. Maybe you can find a creative way to get them off their screens. They can interact with one another, their family members, friends, get them outside. But even if not, we're looking for new unwrapped toys for all ages, not just the young kids. We're also looking for teens and tweens, so don't forget about that. But we do have our reporters out in the field. I do want to share what they have coming up. One more time, I will pull up the Toys for Tots wish list here. So again, you can go to WILX.com for more information and hit the hot button link, and then you'll be able to find the drop-off locations. But until then, you can also do our WILX studios here in South Lansing on American Road. That will also be a place where you can drop off new unwrapped toys. And one more time, that QR code on your screen. Go ahead and scan that. You can drop off those new unwrapped toys from now until December 8th, and we thank you for helping us make an impact. We do have our reporters out in the field, so I want to share what they have coming up. Whoop, we're tripping over here on the little cords. Okay, here we go.
Thanks, Taylor. There's a brand new dog sickness that's out there that's going around. It's highly contagious and very life-threatening to pets. It's going around the country. It hasn't hit yet here in Michigan, but I did speak with a local expert on what we can do to help protect our pets, as well as what this disease actually is. I'll have more on that story coming up for you guys in our 5 o'clock news. Back to you at the desk.
All right, you just heard News 10's Justin Kent, what he has coming up today, News 10 at 5. And I will say we are talking a little bit about the mysterious dog illness that is going around in the Midwest, across the country. We'll have more on that during Mid-Michigan Matters at a later date. But tonight, News 10 at 5, you can watch Justin Kent, what more experts have to say on this mysterious dog illness. Has to do revolving with a cough. So we'll have much more coming up in News 10 at 5. Now we're going to switch it on over to Mars Anderson on what he has coming up today, News 10 at 5:30.
Mars Anderson here at the Grass Lake Way Center talking with Michigan State Police on why they have all eyes on I-94. We'll have more on that in our 90 minutes of news.
All right, we're going to see what Deanna Giles has coming up today, News 10 at 5:30.
Thanks, Taylor. Reimagining relationships and repairing harm. That's the goal of Reparations Monday. I'm Deanna Giles, and I spoke with a local organization who shares how they're helping to bridge the racial gap through reparations and with a faith-based approach. I'll have that story on News 10 at 5:30. Taylor?
All right, you just heard from Deanna Giles, and last but not least, Erin Bowling coming up at News 10 at 6.
Thanks, Taylor. Today I'm at Lansing City Hall because their election commission is deciding today whether or not to reduce the number of voting precincts from 40 to 32. Getting rid of these 8 precincts would save the city of Lansing some money. I'll have more on this story on News 10 at 6. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, so you just heard from News 10's Justin Kent, Mars Anderson, Deanna Giles, and Erin Bowling, what they have coming up today during our 90 minutes of news. You got to fix the little microphone here, but you did see that some of them, we have Justin and Mars out in the cold. So one more time, I want to share something that you can look forward to happening tomorrow. It is our First Alert Winter Survival Guide put together by our meteorologists, and it is going to air at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure to tune in. They share all of the different ways you can prepare for the winter weather, whether that's at your home or more specifically out on the roads, making sure that you're okay. Of course, this morning you had to scrape off your cars from some of that snow, some of the ice on your windshield, and also there were some slick spots out on the road. So just make sure that you are being aware, weather aware more specifically, and you can tune in tomorrow 7 o'clock here on WILX News 10, Channel 10 for the First Alert Winter Survival Guide. One more thing I want to pull up here is our You're Not Alone mental health series. We are doing this all year long here on News 10. Airing different stories from community members, sharing their own mental health journey, as well as from experts to share how you can improve your emotional well-being. So coming up in just a little bit, you're going to see a QR code pop up. You can go ahead, scan that QR code with your cell phone camera, bring it out, there it is. Go ahead, scan that QR code. It'll bring up a list of resources from around the counties here in Mid-Michigan, no matter what you're looking for. So it can at least help guide you toward a resource in the area, whether it's for you, someone else that you may know or love. Feel free to pass that on. Know that you're not alone. And the last thing I want to share is there is a Lifeline chat number that you can call or text. That number is 988. Again, that number is 988. And if you are a veteran, you can press option number 1. That will connect you to another veteran so you can share that similar experience, and they will help guide you toward a better well-being. But until then, have a great rest of your Monday, everyone. It is very cold outside. Let's take a quick look outside at Mason. This is a live look that we're looking at right now. You're seeing that Santa, I'm sure he is ready for Christmas. Of course, we're past Thanksgiving now, and you've got that snow falling down, getting you in the Christmas spirit here. So make sure you bundle up. It is cold outside. Be careful on the roads. You can always download the First Alert Weather app. But until then, you can see Justin Bradford coming up during Studio 10 in just under a half hour for more weather updates. You can go to WILX.com, download the First Alert Weather app. But until then, you can catch us here, Studio 10, first at 4 in our 90 minutes of news. Have a great Monday, everyone.